evening and welcome to Let's Keep It Real with our Boy Meets Girl 101. My name is Lydia Boakyewaa Adjei. I'm the co-founder of Boy Meets Girl 101 and we are happy to have you join us tonight for our quarter 2 live session. Our resource person is already here. Like, wow, how punctual. And we're going to make the most of this conversation. Hi Anita, hi Obed, hi Eric. Thank you for joining us. As we are all aware, this month is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's amazing that we get to do this now and have this conversation with no other than Mr. Akita. You might not know him, some of you might know him, but you're going to get to hear him speak very soon, and just brace yourself for a very enlightening conversation. So I'm going to add him in a minute and then we'll get right into it so that we can make the most of our hour. But if you're just joining us, this is Let's Keep It with our Boy Meets Girl 101, the quarter 2 live session. And today we're talking about men's mental health awareness. What breaks a man? What do they experience in childhood, in adulthood, and makes them how they are? We're going to get into it with Mr. Akita. I'm adding him now. He's already here. So let's do this. And come with your questions. You know how we do it. Come with your questions. The answers you need. Like, you blow your mind, I tell you. And invite others to join us. Hi, Mr. Akita.
Hello, Alicia. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor.
It's great to be here. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Great, great. So I'm just seeing that someone says you look like Denzel Washington. Have you got that before? Or this is
I
the
ha
first time?
no, I have had that many times. Even
Okay, great,
the
great.
worst one. The worst one was when I was working in Knightsbridge, and a policeman um, was riding after me, and I thought, okay, have I taken anything from the store because I couldn't see anything. And then he stops next to me and goes, "Can I have your autograph?" And I said, "Yeah,
Oh.
sure." Richard Akita. He goes, "No, there's no Washington." I said, "No, it's Richard Akita." He goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
I've had that.
wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Wow. I would have, jumped right on that, like, okay, let's take a photo instead.
No, I didn't do that. I mean, I would love on my bucket list. I would love to meet Denzel Washington so I can take a
Okay.
picture with him,
Yeah.
and hopefully this whole thing that I look like him, maybe I can see it myself. I don't see it,
Yeah.
but obviously people see it. But yes, um,
Yeah. Yeah. It
it's
hadn't
wonderful.
occurred to me, but when I read that, I realized that, yeah, there's a resemblance. So,
Oh
yes.
gosh, oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Great. But thank you again. I'm absolutely honored to have you on. Today, I made a post about the first time I ever got to speak to you and the wisdom with which you spoke. I mean, and I'm so happy that everybody on here gets to hear from you, like from the horse's own mouth, so that they can also make their own judgments and learn from you, just as we get to learn from you. So thank you.
Thank you once again for inviting me.
Okay,
It's good
great.
to be
So
here.
please, great. Thank you. So please tell us about yourself.
Ooh. The simple form is I've been married and to the one woman for 38 years and counting.
Ooh,
I have I have two children,
okay,
three young adults, I should say. I have a
okay,
granddaughter.
okay.
I write. I have a very curious mind, so I write. And last month I launched two more books, so that makes it 23 books that I've written so far.
Oh,
Yes. Um, I then do counseling. I've been doing counseling for close to 30 years. Um, in actual fact, this month of June, I turned 60. So
happy
I'm,
birthday.
thank you. I'm a young old man. So I write, I do counseling, I do coaching,
Mm,
and I do
mm-hmm.
soft skills training for corporates.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I am deeply rooted in my faith in Christ. So a lot of the things I talk about will be based on Christ, but it will not be a sermon. I try to balance the two because I know it's not everybody that believes, but it's just I have a foundation I work on,
Yeah.
and I take it from there. Um, I've been working with children, youth, young adults, and men for over 4 decades. And it is during this time that it's not what I discovered from them, but it's what I discovered about me, what I learned about me, my
Mm.
mistakes, my setbacks, the challenges I had, and how I had to learn how to overcome those things. It's when I started asking the question. I know I said to tell you about me, but that was what started me on the journey of doing what I do now.
Okay.
Because there doesn't seem to be a lot of help out there. So a lot of the things you need to try and find, you do a lot of self-discovery. And then when you are blessed, you will find somebody who's prepared to mentor you, which is what I got. I got a good mentor who helped me to understand this whole thing about being a man.
Mm.
Um, and for all the men on the call today, and for women who are raising men, please, um, we've got to find a way to make it easier to raise boys because
Mm.
we're making so many mistakes. And even as a father, I have a son, and I raised him in a way that I thought is a world that's tough out there. So hey, I need to make him tough, but I needed to make him a healthy young man, not a tough
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's me in almost in a nutshell.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And I think one dilemma we have when it comes to getting the right help is where to look.
Hmm,
Because it might look like there are so many avenues, there are so many places to look, but is it the right place to look or to get the help that you need? And so I'm happy that you're here. Maybe when, as we go along the conversation, you can tell us more about how people can also connect with you after
sure,
here to be
sure.
able to, do something with you and get some help from you. Okay, so right into the rest of the conversation, Mr. Akita, um, a lot of broken men, a lot of broken boys, not even mm, going straight into manhood. Even as
Hmm,
boys, there are a lot of boys that are broken, and then they go and become broken men through no fault of theirs, more often than not. But what would you say typically breaks these boys before they even become men?
hmm. That's a very great question, and I like the
Thank
way
you.
you put it. So what breaks what can actually break a boy?
Yeah.
That would I mean this may sound okay. Before let me deviate briefly and come back to answer this question. We look at the world at the moment, and one of the most beautiful thing, the greatest thing we have done for the human race is focus on the girl child. And for many
Yeah.
years, we're empowering the girl child to do much more, which is
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. I
Mm.
support that, and I believe that we should do much more. But somewhere along the line, the memo has been missed. And I blame the men because we have constantly been at the forefront and doing all the things. So now that the focus has been on the women, they have forgotten to help the boy child because the empowered woman one day is going to marry a man who is masked and he will be the one that frustrates her life. So to come back to your point, if we look at one thing, I would say conditional acceptance. And what I mean by that is when everything a boy does is tied, for him to get approval, it is tied into his performance. And that in itself is actually quite a tall order because both boys and girls will start off from the same, and as they grow, you find that they start learning things as they grow along. The boy does not learn to have a conversation, so he plays with toys and he screams. It's rather sad. A lot of our games, okay, let me use my age. I mean, you know my age now, but in our time, we did cowboys and Indians. We played football. And all the things we did was noise oriented. You scored a goal and you would scream. You shot somebody, pew, pew, pew. And that's all we did. But the girl child had a tea party.
Mhm.
She spoke to her friends. She
Yeah.
created that community where she could have a conversation. So for the boy child, as he's growing, he's being told that you have to be a man, you have to do this, you have to. So there's a lot of demand on the young boy before puberty even strikes. He does not know who he is, he does not understand what's expected of him. But yet, we're telling him that, hey, if you do well, that means you're good. So
Yeah.
that conditional acceptance is what affects us as we grow. Because by the time we get to adulthood, we now start seeing the challenge between our expectations and our reality. And when those two do not meet, then we have a problem. I'm fortunate to have six siblings. Five of them are boys. I'm the second born, and I remember my siblings, all of us, clamoring around our mom, trying to find love, trying to find acceptance. In fact, there is a phrase that says, "Babies cry for it, ladies show up for it, and yet men work for it."
Mm.
Recognition. So we do all of these things so that we can be accepted as boys, and that is the foundation of a lot of the issues that we have, and that then pivots into when we become a man.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. That's heavy and so true at the same time. Like, and I'm just picturing boys on the field, shoving and you know maybe getting excited about football, and you even that you can't even express that excitement so much, like let's go on, let's continue the game. You can only
Mhm.
celebrate for so long and then you have to move on to the next thing. So it's like, yes, you have to keep proving yourself even as a
Definitely.
boy, and
Yes.
you have to keep show working for it. And
Mhm.
it's unfortunate, really. And
It
I don't
is.
know.
It
I
is.
feel
I,
like
I mean, look at it this way. I mean, I saw your post on the World Cup, and it's one goal after another. We wait for that
yeah,
moment to get excited, and what do?
yeah,
We all scream and shout, but then what do we do then? We recoil into ourselves, and that is the nature of most men.
mm,
And we get excited because we've achieved something, and when you achieve something, everybody celebrates you. And it is
yeah,
in that celebration that you feel validated. You think, my gosh, I got an A
yeah,
and all my family members are celebrating. Hey,
yeah,
get an F and you'll be told one day you're going to have a family. I mean, at the age
mm,
of 9, 10, and you've been told you're going to have
yeah,
a family, you're going to be this.
yeah,
All of these things do not help us. Yes, as parents, we need to tell our children the realities of life,
mm,
but we also need to bring a balance. Is it the
yeah,
boy getting an A that is so important, or is it the boy being rounded?
mm,
I didn't do academically. I wasn't very brilliant in primary school, and look at how it turned out.
yeah.
The boy who could not write 100 word
23 books.
100 word essay
Yeah,
in primary school, and today I have got 23 books. So my beginning is the support system that is put in place. But the way I learned to bring up my children, sadly, I repeated the same thing with my son. And when I had my crisis moment and I started learning what it is to be a man, I had to now change that. So the one thing is that conditional acceptance. If we can make acceptance unconditional, then boys would easily, easily be able to express themselves and be able to move
yeah,
into the next stage of their lives and enjoy every season in their life.
yeah, yeah. Mr. Peter, you've been unfair to me because with just this one answer, I feel like you've answered all my questions.
Oh
I don't know if
no,
I asked them anyway,
no,
because
no, please go ahead, go ahead.
it's really profound, and I feel like I even owe people an apology because I'm sure I also have a part to play in this whole narrative where, and we keep propelling it where we expect boys to be men right from the
Yes.
onset. And
Yes.
these comments you're talking about, where it's like, one day you marry somebody's child, you have to do this, you have to do that. And it is the reality. Like when you were saying, it was just all coming back to me like, hey, these are things I've actually heard and I've actually said at some point or the
Ah,
other,
okay.
so I don't know. Let's just go on. But we are going to do better. That is why we're having this conversation. That is why we're
Thank
getting
you.
this enlightenment, and then we will run with it. Like we have to do better. We have to do
Yes.
better. So some of these things, I want you to throw more light on some of the things, the specific things that we tell boys and that become harmful to them. Like let's dig deeper into that, because that's, for me, that is where everything starts. And you mentioned you having a certain upbringing and then passing the same thing on to your son till a point. You
Yes.
know, what are some of these things that we are doing, like some unintentionally, some intentionally, that is going to churn out the kind of men that we do not want to see?
Well, let's look at, in an ideal world, a child needs both parents. And there's nothing worse than having a present but yet uninvolved father. Because children catch behavior. So for some of us, we chase the money so much so that we forget the investment in the lives of our children.
Mm,
I know we're talking about boys, but when a father takes time out and invests time in his daughter, she becomes the most confident go-getter in life.
mm,
She does not sleep around looking for affirmation.
mm,
She is able to explore